Okay, welcome back to part 2 of balancing chemical equations. We're picking up from the last video because we ran out of time. Once again, we were left off on this portion right here, in which we were trying to figure out how can I possibly get this 2 to become a 5. And with combustion reactions, it is a good idea to use what's known as a half coefficient. Okay? Because no matter what number I throw in front of this oxygen here, if it's a 2, if it's a 3, if it's a 4, it's always going to come out as an even number because of this 2 right here on this oxygen. I can change the coefficients in front of the substances all day long, but I am not allowed to change their subscripts. That is never allowed. So it's not going to be easy to get this 2 right here to become a 5, since one's an even number and one is odd, but we can use a trick. We can use what's known as a half coefficient. Okay. We need that number to be 5, but if we do 5 over 2, we will in fact get that 5 back. Because let's imagine if I do this with just the 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Well, that isn't 5, but 5 halves times 2 is 10 over 2, which is equal to 5. So if I put this 5 halves in front, this 5 divided by that 2 is 10, divided by the 2 that is underneath the 5 is 10. Or you can think of this as 5 divided by 2, which is 2.5, times that 2, which is 5. And the equation is balanced. There is just one slight issue though. It is not a good idea to leave half coefficients in, okay? So what we will do is we will go through and multiply by an integer that will get rid of that half coefficient there, okay? And in this case, we're going to multiply by 2, okay? So we're going to multiply both the products and reactants by 2 to make this 1/2 go away. If I do this 2 times this 1 in front of this C2H2, I will get 2C2H2. Gas. Okay. If I do 2 times this 5 halves, these 2's will just cancel, and then I will be left with 5O2 gas. If I do this 2 times this 2CO2, I will get 4CO2 gas. And then if I do this 2 times this 1 in front of H2O, I'll get 2H2O gas. And then we have a full balanced equation that is already simplified. If you don't believe me, go through and count all of the atoms, okay? Alright, I will be putting a separate practice if you need extra practice with balancing chemical equations, but it will not be on this Nearpod activity. In the next video, we're going to go in how to write chemical equations as well as write net ionic equations.